Today's Christmas, so I thought I'd do a Christmas video. I do have a list here. Anyway, he said I don't personally celebrate Christmas myself, but if you do celebrate Christmas, say he wish you Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all that. Now, if you go back to the Bible, read in the Bible, talk about Jesus born, the time that the shepherds had all the flocks out in the fields and stuff, and you don't do that in the wintertime. In the wintertime, you got them in the stables, wherever they kept the farm animals, in the wintertime. The summertime, you graze them out in the fields and stuff. So obviously, the date of Christmas has been changed since the Bible has been written. Yeah, the Romans did that when they adopted Christianity. But anyway, that's academic. Now, let me start with Alexis XJ669. Now, in her latest video, she's talking about it. She said if she read the family, she said if she had 8 kids. Now, if you are a kiddo, hey, tune out for a second or two. I'm going to repeat what she did. Now, if you don't mind slightly offensive language, you can go ahead and watch this. But anyway, she said if she had 8 kids, she wouldn't have them in a fuck-ass minivan. She'd buy a 4x4 Suburban. Yeah, that's the way to raise kids. Drag your kids out to interesting places, camp out in the woods and stuff. Go to 4x4. That's the way to raise at least for me. I was raised that way. I said, if I was a chick and she wanted 1 or 2 more kids, I might go for it. I think you probably want a younger guy. But if I was a chick that wanted 1 or 2 kids, I mean, we'd have to really know each other and really have to be together as a committed couple. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't go for anything like that. Next thing I'm going to cover is for Michelle. Her YouTube channel is Miles to Myself. And chick, when you make the videos, it gets you some cool sunglasses. Here, I'm nearsighted also, but I save my prescription glasses to watch TV and to drive with. I'll make my videos with sunglasses because I think they make me a little cooler than my prescription glasses. I think I've had them on for a video or two. I've definitely talked about them. But chick, you need to get out. You need to quit making the videos where you're talking about why you quit the 9 to 5 and get out videos. I need to do that. I need to get out to some more interest. I've done a few, but I need to get out to some interesting places, that I think my YouTube viewers would want to see, like Monument Hill, like the waterfall hike from the White Tanks, stuff like that. And chick, if you want to join up with me, hey, we could sit down, figure out what we're gonna, what we'd both find interesting for collab videos. Really love to do that. Not necessarily anything extracurricular or romantic. Reason I say that for several reasons. First, I want to shut up anyone that might say I was gay. And if I said that, talk about a female, said I would never want to have any type of physical relationship with her. Now she might be thinking to herself that I thought she had something wrong with her, and I would never want her to feel that way. So I said it would be something between 2 consenting adults. You know who I'm talking about. That's for Michelle, A Miles to Myself. Next thing I see, I've covered my Christmas, the ghost. Let me get to slideshows now. In one of my "Twas a Few Nights Before Christmas" videos, talking about these ghosts imprisoning these kids that have been partying and then showing them slideshows. Now, where that came from? Now, there was a TV show. If you remember Rod Serling, first he had Twilight Zone. He ran that for many years, and then right after that, there was a TV show. He didn't really have much to do with it. He just kind of hosted it. It was called The Night Gallery, and in one episode, it didn't last very long, but in one episode of The Night Gallery, now there was this biker dude that had died in a bad wreck, and he immediately went to hell. And his punishment was had to sit there and watch families present their slideshows. Now, people don't do that anymore. People haven't done that since maybe the 70s or 80s. Everything now is on, more electronic media. But I enjoyed it as a kid, various slideshows. That's certainly very interesting, but it's a technology that's kind of gone by the wayside. Now, if you're an older person like me and enjoy slideshows, say, you leave a comment on here. Let's see. Like I said, that's where that inspiration for that video, the slideshows, came from. For those kids, it would have been it might have been a hell, or maybe a few of them enjoyed it. Who knows? That's totally fictional. It's not real. I get out of my imagination. The "Twas the Night Before Christmas" videos. Let's see, the ghost sex. Now, in one of my videos, I was talking about astral sex with ghosts. Now, let me give you the ideas behind that. all we humans during deep sleep, we will go out of body, called spirit travel or astral projection. Hey, if you're curious, search here on YouTube. YouTube's got not a lot, but some information on astral travel, astral projection, astral sex with ghosts. Not a lot, but there's a little bit out here. If you're out here on YouTube, if you're curious. Now we all do it. Now the only difference between us flesh and blood living humans and a ghost is that when we're out of body during deep sleep, in our astral body, we have a physical body to return to in the morning when we wake up. The ghosts don't. That's the only difference. Like I said, I've covered astral sex a few times. Now there's two types of. My understanding is there's two types of astral sex. With two consenting beings. That there's something close to physical sex that we would perform. That I might perform with a willing female partner here in the flesh and blood world. There's also something called melding. Now, I can't actually consciously astral project, but I know I'm going out of body at night during sleep. But anyway, melding is just as it sounds. Two souls completely melding. Like God, how do I describe it? If you can search it here on YouTube, but it's as I understand, a total sharing of everything. So you're advised to be very, very careful on who you meld with because you're sharing your deepest, intimate ideas and stuff. And if you're prepared to do that, it's supposed to be a very intense experience. That's my understanding on it. Let's see. The last thing I'm going to cover here is for Adam the Woo. Now, there's two places that I've covered that he also covered. Now, it's the Cowpuncher. If you search on my videos, I did a number of them out there. Some of them I titled Cowpuncher, some of them I didn't. But it was a restaurant that burned down in the early 80s. I was down there. I did work for the guy that actually built the place. I didn't do the work for the guy the guy was running it later, but with purchase in the process of purchasing it and then running it later. I didn't do anything for him. There's the Cowpuncher. Adam the Woo had went through there and then got the sign and didn't understand the backstory of the sign. Now the last time I was down there, they was clearing the lot off, so they maybe plan to build something down there. I don't know. I just curious. Said if somebody wants to join up with me there, or the statue down there in Buckeye, Hobo Joe. Now, Adam the Woo was interested in Hobo Joe because there's a plaque on there that Hobo Joe was an art project done by someone that had worked for Disney. Now, the story I remember from the newspapers back in the 80s. Now, there was a meat company that had bought Hobo Joe, and the story they presented in the paper was that Hobo Joe was a chain of restaurants called Hobo Joe, and that Hobo Joe was kind of their symbol, like the Bob's Big Boy, that thing. If you remember, back in the 70s, before we had the shortage of natural gas, remember that Big Boy had a big old gas flame, coming out of his hand. Well, they stopped doing that when they thought we was going to run out of natural gas. But for years, there's a big old flame. They talk about their Flame World burgers. I remember having a few, and they were pretty good. But anyway, I don't know if Hobo Joe is symbol for these restaurants, or if Hobo Joe is part of an art project for a guy that worked for Disney. I don't know. Now, initially, a meat company had bought Hobo Joe because he was the last one left. The other restaurants had closed, and he was the only one left. They were going to tear him up, but this meat company had bought him. The meat company in the city of Buckeye went round and around, whether it was a advertising sign for the meat company or if it was an art project, and finally they settled that. And he sat out in front of their meat company for a long time, and then some group down there, some historical group, purchased Hobo Joe, and they moved into where he sits now. They built that platform down there and all the plaques and stuff down there and the lights and stuff. But like I said, if some chick wants to join me for a collab video, preferably a chick, but if some guy wants to go down there and do a tribute to Hobo Joe, we can do a tribute to, not to Hobo Joe, but to Adam the Woo, because that was two places that he had visited. It's been a number of years since he's done either one. Somebody wants to do, or maybe somebody's got another tribute location here in the valley. Adam the Woo only did one other place in the valley that I know of. It was at when Chase Field. He had attended a baseball game down there, Now, I don't think I'd be interested in going to Chase Field for a baseball game. Well, there's no games going on in the wintertime anyway. But somebody wants to do a collab video with me, dedicated to Adam the Woo. With a guy, there's nothing romantic, nothing extracurricular with a guy. With a chick, there could be. Okay, love y'all. Let's keep life interesting. Let's keep life exciting. Merry Christmas to those that celebrate it. And for me, I'll celebrate it my own way. Okay. There's probably one or two things I've forgotten off this list, and they'll be in follow-up videos. I'll say, Auf Wiedersehen, Mahalo, Das Verstanya, Ciao, all those. Let's stay spooky out there. Let's stay interesting, exciting, all that. Bye-bye.